Alright, hello everybody. Sorry for looking especially white tonight. I don't know why. I don't know why. It is what it is, but meant to do our game dev and chill stream last night, but had some gaming plans pop up, both with the Switch 2 and just some friend group gaming in general, so just wanted to go ahead and relax yesterday. But I did actually work on this project yesterday, and we will see the results of that today. So I'm just gonna do a quick stream. I know I always say about an hour, but I'm actually watching the clock. I'm gonna go for like an hour and 10 more. Then right at 10:30 for me, I'm gonna work out, take a shower, and play Mario Kart. Play more Mario Kart for the rest of the evening. It's pretty good. I got my Switch 2. Actually, I guess this is the first stream. I haven't streamed since Wednesday morning, which is when I was waiting for it. I got it. It came in. If you watched my last game dev stream, which was last Thursday night, you may have heard me being like, yeah, I tried my best to get a Switch 2, but I didn't win the My Nintendo, like, first wave, and I don't know when the next wave will be, so I guess I'll just wait my turn, and I'll get it probably by the holiday season. It is what it is. The invite emo came through on like Friday morning. So yeah, it was processing over the weekend. I bought it right away. Processed over the weekend, was preparing for shipping on Monday, and then it got here on Wednesday. So setup was really nice and easy. I still think I am taking a vacation next week. So I think for traveling, I'm still gonna bring the Switch 1, especially with the virtual card stuff. I'll be able to play Fantasy Life and very quickly load it back onto my Switch 2 to stream with, so that'll be fun. I also don't want to risk anything happening. I've never had a console on launch before, so I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to lose it, I don't want something to happen to it. So I will definitely be leaving it and feeling comfortable, even though it would suck to lose my Switch 1 because I'm very sentimental about consoles. Especially with all the virtual cards and stuff, it really wouldn't be too big of an issue, and it would be better that than the new console. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart. I updated my expansion pack stuff to be a family plan, so that way stuff applies to both my personal files, and also I have some like Twitch specific accounts that I actually started to have a Twitch specific Tears of the Kingdom run, and that's the one we've been working on 100%ing. So I obviously want to use the new Zelda Notes feature to finish that run, so we are going to resume Tears of the Kingdom 100% in July. I'm thinking on Wednesday mornings. That will kind of take the place of Fantasy Life, and then we are going to keep doing our kind of chill like life sim games like Inzoi and The Sims. We will, and eventually Paralives at the end of the year. Excited for that, but we're gonna keep doing those on Monday mornings to kind of kick things off for the week. But we gotta send Fantasy Life I off gracefully, so tomorrow I'm going to be doing a long stream in the afternoon. We will start on the Switch 2 with Fantasy Life I. Even though there's not a Switch 2 specific version yet, I do think it runs a bit smoother. Other than that, there's not really any graphical changes, but I do notice it runs a little bit smoother with stuff. So we'll play that, and then we're going to beat the final chapter, the final main story chapter. I am aware there's a ton of endgame stuff, and that this is kind of only like half of the game, because I'm also a fan of the original Fantasy Life, which was very much the same way. So I'm definitely going to keep playing it, but us playing it on like the weekends and like dedicating as much of a full playthrough to it, especially now that we have the Switch 2. We're probably going to, if you're invested in the story, wrap it up with the main story for the weekend playthroughs of that at least, unless something significant comes up and I'm like, okay, we have to stream this. But otherwise, I think I'm going to turn it into my cozy off-stream game throughout later in the summer. So we want to see all the story content we can on Saturday, but we're going to finish up however long it takes to be the main story. I feel like maybe we just have a couple hours, especially we're already a little ways into chapter 7, and we are, I think, pretty well covered in terms of combat level. So we should be good to beat that, and the rest of stream on Saturday will be Mario Kart World. Not necessarily doing like a multiplayer like specific thing. I might hop on multiplayer randomly, but not necessarily like party things. But we might do mostly Grand Prix stuff, because I played the Grand Prix up through unlocking, spoilers, Rosalina. And then I stopped there because I'm like, well, the rest of these would be fun to play on stream. Like, I don't know what Rainbow Road looks like, because I think you have to beat, I'm assuming you have to beat all the Grand Prix, and then the final one will like open up or something. So I think that would be a fun way to spend the rest of Saturday's stream. But still want to try Knockout Tour. Is really, really fun, and I feel like it's the go-to thing to do for online Mario Kart now. It really sucks, and it makes you want to scoop your eye out and then stab yourself in the head when you get when you don't make that first cut. Is incredibly frustrating and humiliating, worse than any other Mario Kart game thus far. But it's so addicting. It's so addicting. And might beat out, I would say it might beat out the open world for me on my favorite part of the new Mario Kart game. But the open world's a lot of fun. I actually have a YouTube video that I was gonna do on what I would want for like an open world Mario Kart before they even announced Mario Kart World. So I'm thinking I've shifted it later into the video essay schedule, because I'm like, I need to marinate on this now that we have an actual open world Mario Kart. But so far I've been very happy with it. So we'll get to play that Saturday. I'm also going to do a Mario Kart specific morning stream this upcoming Monday, just because I know the Inzoi update is out and live, but I want to let modders cook with it a little bit longer before we jump into it. And the Sims 4 update doesn't drop until July 10th. So, yeah, so with that, I'm like, well, we might as well play more Mario Kart on Monday, I guess. And then I do want to bump, I will be starting to go on vacation like on Wednesday, so I will bump up our Wednesday stream to Tuesday and probably play a bit more Fantasy Life and a bit more Mario Kart. Next few streams are going to be very Mario Kart centered, but hence why I wanted to do just a quick game dev stream tonight while I have this geometry collection stuff figured out. I wanted to just spew all the knowledge I got, all the knowledge I recalled from the last time I touched just like a couple years ago. I recalled all of that knowledge finally, so I wanted to spew that information, get it recorded before I forgore again and before I go on vacation. And then we will probably start looking at, I was going to do a learning Blender stream for a couple weeks, because I do want to start another Kid Icarus Arena blockout later in July, but we have like 2 game dev streams in between now and that point, so I'm trying to think of like what a good use of those 2 streams would be. So I was gonna look at Blender, but I'm worried like learning a whole new software, even though I know Maya, learning a whole new software maybe is a lot for like 2 1-hour post-work streams. But we did do a bit of Unreal 5's modeling tool, which is very simple, but I'm a level designer. I'm not an artist, so I don't need it to be complex. So we might look more into the modeling tool for those couple weeks, but no game dev stream next week. But that is what I'm thinking for when we get back. And yeah, I'm glad people are enjoying the new Mario Kart. I know it's definitely, I got the bundle, so for $50, I think it is insanely worth it. For $80 is questionable. If you love Mario Kart, I think it's absolutely worth $80. If you're like, oh, I think Mario Kart's cool and I like to play it with friends and family, but otherwise I'm not really competitive, or like I don't put too many hours into it, it's not worth $80. I'm a huge Nintendo fan, but I'll be honest about that, it's really not. And especially, like, I've heard it's $90 physical some places. It's definitely not worth that regardless. but it is quite fun. I think that was Nintendo's plan, honestly, too, was to be like, oh, if you don't want to pay $80, you'll just have to get the console with the bundle that sells for more than the regular console. So I'm like, so if you get the bundle, absolutely 1000% worth it. Otherwise, I wouldn't blame you for being a bit more on the fence. And yeah, if you're not a super huge Nintendo fan, like, the Zelda upgrades are amazing, the GameCube expansion pack's phenomenal, and then yeah, Mario Kart's great. But other than that, unless you're playing Deltarune on the Switch and you're playing Bravely Default, also got a remaster on the Switch too. So unless you're a fan of like all of those things, then I think it is safe to wait a few more months on getting a Switch 2. It's set to have a huge amount of exclusives over its first year, but we're still in its first like week, so there's not a full library yet. So if you feel FOMO for like seeing everyone talk about Mario Kart, but you don't know if it's time to get a Switch 2 for you yet or not, it might not be. Yeah, I know Fantasy Life doesn't have a Switch 2 version yet, but I know they said they were planning on releasing one, which would be like an upgrade pack if you already have it on Switch 1, which I do. I might have to cop that. I wasn't going to. I'm like, how fancy can these upgrade packs really be? And then I booted up Breath of the Wild. And I'm not a huge like graphics fiend or snob, but oh my god, I don't know if I can run Breath of the Wild on my Switch 1 ever again. I really don't. It was so buttery smooth. I haven't even opened Tears of the Kingdom yet. I'm gonna save that for when we revisit our playthrough in July and let that be a whole surprise to me. But these upgrade packs, they might be worth it. It's hard to tell in advertising and videos and stuff, like when you're seeing footage of it and you're like, is it real? Will it really run that well? Watching it on my TV screen with my own eyeballs, I was like, oh my god, these upgrade packs are legit. So I can say Switch 2 definitely packs a lot more power than the Switch 1. The rumors are true. It is a console. This thing's a whole, I know Switch 1 feels a little more like a handheld console than a console. Switch 2 is feeling more like an actual full console, which is why we're seeing so much third-party support already. So that is very exciting. Speaking of Nintendo games, we have been running our little, so I'm a level designer professionally in the industry, but I like to do these little sandbox projects on stream and outside of my professional work just to like relax and chill. So currently what we've been doing is we've been remaking some arenas from Kid Icarus Uprising, and I'm saying I will work on this sandbox of Kid Icarus maps until Nintendo puts either a remake or a port or something, or a sequel ideally, but anything Kid Icarus on like the Switch, now Switch 2. I'm saying we'll work on this project until then. But after they announce Kirby Air Riders instead of Kid Icarus, which I'm very happy for. I'm very happy for Kirby Air Riders. But it does feel like the kiss of death to having another Sakurai Kid Icarus game. So we might be working on this project for a long time, but that's fine because I'm having a lot of fun with it. So this map here is like the second one we've kind of blocked out, and it is based off of the Spiral Tower arena in, let me pull it up here. It's based off of the Spiral Tower arena in Kid Icarus Uprising. These are just screenshots of how it looks on the 3DS itself, courtesy of my cousin, Cup Drinker on YouTube. But this is kind of how it has progressed from early layout stages all the way into blockout and then into designer art. Because I'm a designer, not an artist. I don't know how to make stuff pretty, but I do try my best. Also, I realized, did I switch the category for this? I just realized I'm probably in fantasy life right now, aren't I? Yeah. I'm gonna play fantasy life tomorrow, folks. I'm gonna play fantasy life tomorrow, I swear. I'm clickbaiting people, oh no. But yeah, I'm super excited for, actually, yeah, it sounded like, is the upgrade pack already out? This is my Switch 1, I won't be able to check. If it is out, I'll buy that. I'll buy that tonight and update it. Yeah, this is our Spiral Tower stuff, and this is where we are right now. Our stream last week, we worked on the last kind of bit of... It's all still like very clearly designer art now, but the last bit of actual pure block out was the flag here, which we decided to put a picture of my cat in using the modeling tool and using some wind actor magic. And now if we hit play from here, we can see it's glorious. We do have a regular like red flag as well over here. But yeah, I'll try not to, they're gonna all shoot me. But yeah, today's focus, Destructibles. Where we left off last with, I kind of have a traumatic backstory with this chaos system actually. That was not at a very fun point in my life and career. But I realized especially like, okay, I need to fix that. Especially recently, I was like, man, you know what? This level would actually really benefit from having some like destructible pieces both existing already in the environment, but also things that kind of fracture off when you shoot at it. So I was like, I know how to do the basics of this, so I might as well reteach myself how to do that. So that will benefit the map. So previously, what happened where we left off with these Destructibles is that if anything were to hit them, they are very light and they immediately float away. They also have collision on them, so then the AI gets caught on them in really weird ways. I just accidentally unplugged my controller, what? Okay, not that piece, but we'll get back to that. They're gonna shoot me before I can get over to the... Here, it'll be easier if I just start over here. But yeah, this is a piece that I fixed up. We're gonna fix up the rest of them real quickly tonight, but this one over here, observe how the grenade bounces off of it, and then only during the explosion do you see it fractures. I can still take cover behind this piece, it still has cover, but the smaller pieces right here do not have collision, and I'm free to move around the cabin. Okay, that part's not a... Ow. That part's not destructible. But yeah. So how do we take it from that over there to the one that works? And that's what I'm going to show you all today. I made some sticky notes because I was like, I need to write down what I did. So the first thing I did was, if we go to the... Do I want to leave my geometry collections? Yeah, that's fun. I think it's in core content. B_grenade. Yeah, so this is in the Unreal Lyra blueprint as well, as a reminder, or the template. So then it should already have this B grenade thing set up. So you just go into that existing blueprint, and all I did right here is, I guess before that, what I did was I made this F_masterfield blueprint class, and this is just immediately made off of the FS masterfield class. So we're just making our own off of there so that we can edit the properties a little bit better, because there is like basically one setting for now. I probably will end up polishing all of these over time, but there's one main setting we want to get to today to make this work. So once you have like just literally just go in and set it up, Then right here in the grenade logic after the detonate, and after this switch has authority, just between these points, squeeze in a little spawn actor F master field. And then I have like the scaling transformed up as well. Then in this master field, kind of the only thing I changed for now is magnitude input. So this is how stronger technically the field that we're spawning in around the grenade is, but to the player it's just how strong the grenade like impact is. Not the impact of it itself, but the impact of the explosion. So as you can see, I just ramped this up a ton, and you'll see why in a second, but this is where you control that value on the magnitude input here. And then yeah, make sure it's all connected and stuff there in the grenades thing itself. So that's how we actually got the logic working of the you throw the grenade and it interacts with our geometry collections that we made. We were having trouble getting that working, I think the last time we visited this. I think I even worked on it off stream and I made all of this logic and it didn't work at all, and I was very frustrated. So I dropped it for like a month, but because I was frustrated because I knew this isn't what I had done in the past to make them work, and this felt more complex and it wasn't working at all, and I was like, I know there's an easier solution, I'm just blanking on it. This is the easier solution. The F master field, FS master field being the master class. This is the easier solution I was thinking of. But yeah, you increase the magnitude, and that's because if we go to our actual geometry collections themselves. So this is just an example of one of the ones we made. I also put them all in their own folder. I'm organized now. So right now with most of the geometry collections, they're like exploding and they're getting thrown in the air. They like weigh 2 pounds. They are very light. What we're going to want to do is, this is the mass setting here, and it's set to something probably like 1,000, 2,000, which sounds like a lot. It apparently is not. So my numbers may be way too high. I don't really know because I just remembered how to do all of this yesterday, and then I played Mario Kart for like 5 hours afterwards. So I may need to polish these more, but essentially all I knew was that stuff felt way too light. And also I wanted to crank this up because we're dealing with brick pieces for all of our destructibles currently. So it's gonna be a pretty heavy mass, so don't be afraid to, if it's not working, crank this up to make sure that stuff is checking out and working okay, especially with these other two things. So yeah, it's a very heavy mass, and hence to scale with it, that's why we have a very large magnitude as well. Make sure if you're scaling one drastically that the other one is scaling properly too. But that's what we did for that. I might just actually end up copying this value and pasting it into the other ones and just tweaking it slightly between each piece, but using this as our default. Yeah, that describes how we settled like the mass of the object and keep them from flying away, and how we're able to have explosions off of the actual grenade themselves now. But I also showed that what we're doing now is that the bottom pieces here remain intact, and it's only the top pieces that fly away. So how I did that is that if we go into fracture mode with this again, I'm gonna type in bone here so that we can see where each fracture is. So last time we saw these pieces, and like we'll see with like some of these other ones. Can I hit a different one? Yeah, let's show bone colors on this one. So most of them are kind of just split up into like a single like cluster, not even a cluster fracture, a single like uniform fracture. So they're these big, fairly the same size chunks of the mesh, and that's it. So that's how this one also started. So what I did is I took the pieces, so we can see over here in our hierarchy, I took the pieces that are large and towards the bottom of the mesh, and I set them to both static and to anchored yes. And you can do that by right clicking and then setting those states here. What I do is I usually like shift click all the ones in question and then set that. And then what I did is I went over here and did the invert selection thing, and it swapped it, but it swapped it over and then to all the pieces that weren't anchored down. And I took all of those and I used the cluster property twice to make the pieces very tiny, but also very much in concentrated areas. So you'll see like there's a ton of tiny pieces here, while there's not as many super tiny pieces up here. That's what the cluster kind of property does, is it makes it a little more uneven, but you also get finer pieces of debris out of that. So I did all of that, so that way it means that on explosion, all of these tiny pieces and all of these upper pieces that don't have any properties set to them are still going to explode as usual, while the pieces at the bottom, they're not going to move, and they're also going to remain anchored in place. So I guess we can just play it as so to see. See how that works. And then there is one more thing. There's one more thing I did as a part of that, and that's the collision, right? Because now I can still use this as cover, but you can notice I'm walking on these tinier pieces. But you notice like while this before the explosion, you would think, oh, so you just turn off collision entirely on these like on the top half of the mesh, but I can still use the top half of the mesh as cover as well before the explosion. It's only afterwards that those pieces lose their collision entirely. So what happens with that, I also forgot where to find this setting, but what it's called is, I wrote it down, collision profile, I believe. Yeah, here we go. And I think I actually ended up setting it on, so you can set it per individual actor in the world, or you can set it on the geometry collection in general, I think. If not, oh well. But I thought that's where I set it last time. I guess I didn't. My bad. Ignore that. I'm sleepy. But anyway, forget I said that, but collision profile per level. So what this does then is, we gotta pull up the fracture thing again, otherwise what I'm saying won't make sense. What this does is, we have this fracture tree. If we color by level, you'll be able to see a different color for each level of the tree. So hence when it's all together, that's the blue. And then the first wave of like larger chunks here, that is the yellow. And then it breaks down into smaller pieces in the green, then the yellow, then the blue. So each one of those, 0 starting at the entire object down to the higher the number, the finer the level of destruction that has gone on it in the tree. So you can set the collision for each level of that. So I have block all set for 0 for when it's a full object, block all set on the larger pieces. This is the level also, I think, yeah, level 1 and level 2 here are where most of our anchored pieces are, so that's why I set block all to those as well. And 3 or 4 are where we have all these like really tiny bits. So we set the collision on there to destructible, and you do have to type in the collision there. So you kind of have to look at these options and see what works best for you, and then copy whatever that name is into the collision index. It doesn't just drop down because it hates me specifically. But that's what I did. And it takes like 5 minutes, and it's really quick once you know what you're looking for. But the documentation on this stuff is infuriating. Like, it's not as straightforward as it seems, especially applying to Lyra. Like, everything should be easy, it should be, but for whatever reason, it's all in separate places. So even if no one will probably watch this, no one will get advice from this video, but I needed to record a stream of me saying this stuff so that future me, the next time I have a brain fart of being stupid in like 2 hours, probably, I will know exactly where to find this information. But if it happens to help anybody else out as well, then that's good. I think one of our most watched clips on the channel actually is me describing like what to type into the console in Unreal to up your texture streaming data. There's nothing entertaining about the clip. I look like I got hit by 2 trains, the sun's in my eyes, and nothing I'm doing on screen is interesting, but all I do in the clip is say like, here's how to up your texture resolution, and I show the command used, and that is like one of, if not the most, it might have gotten dethroned in the past year, I'll have to double check, but it's one of the most watched clips on the channel, so I can only hope that some like little bits of these game dev streams help people out there. So maybe I will clip something coherent out of this one too. I'll have to pick a, like, maybe a piece over here I'll lock in for what I'm doing. But yeah, let's practice it again on here. So we're gonna show bone colors, go to the asset also. So we're going to, okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're going to copy the mass over from this. We'll copy that. In fact, I think I'm gonna raise it a bit more since it's a bigger structure. Hopefully that still works. If not, we'll just copy it again. But yeah, we copy the mass there. Let's open the fracture menu. Oh, I forgot. You can also, cool thing. I don't think I've showed this recently, but you can preview what the explosion looks like what each piece looks like on the inside as well with the explode amount here. A neat little fact. Yeah, for a piece like this, actually, I don't know if we actually want to anchor too much. Or we do want to anchor some stuff at like the very bottom, actually. So let's just do another uniform fracture on it. Okay, wait, what did I do? What are those? Who are you? Okay, we'll just ignore. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have messed with the preview. I think there's a glitch. I think that's a glitch. You'll find those quite often in Unreal. But I love it. I say it with love. I love Unreal Engine. Please. Please. I'm going to set these to be, actually, let's not select anything yet. Let's not select anything yet. I'm gonna raise this up. Yeah. We're gonna select based off of the bottom here. I'm just gonna select all the little bottom pieces. And And we're going to take this, anchored, yes, dynamic state, static. And now I think we can set the, okay, it still won't show us the preview and the explode amount. That's fine. But yeah, like I said, we set all of those, right? Oh yeah, you can also change, you can set different things per thing. Set different states and whatnot in here as well. Okay, that backfired, but I also, if I need to reselect stuff quickly, I just control click through anything that says anchored and static. Because it's faster to do this. It's faster to do this and hit invert than it is to pick everything, all the smaller tiny pieces. So we're gonna hit that and we're gonna hit it with a cluster fracture. And then another one. I think my computer almost died there. But yeah, we're gonna give it, you can also see in level statistics the levels of your hierarchy anyway. So because we fractured off of level 2, that means our super tiny pieces are in 3 and 4, as you can tell by the intense number jump. So we're going to go into where are our collision thingies. I know you're there. Yeah, profile per level, so we're gonna set one for all 5 levels, 0 through 4. Again, block all. And then destructible. There we go. Otherwise, we should be able to snap this back down here. And it should be all ready to go unless something horrible happened. Which is always possible. Let's throw a grenade up there. I missed. Okay. I missed. I'm gonna get. Okay, okay, it worked, it worked, it worked! Maybe I should just stand up there at the top of it. Let's try that again, but it looks like everything's working out just fine. Alright, so all those pieces, it might be too fine, actually. We'll see, we'll see. It might be too tiny. But I don't want the debris to be too big and missing collision as well. So let's turn off the neon colors, as pretty as they are. Get that out of here. Okay, that looks nice. I'm a fan of that. There we go. I think it is snapping a little weird. I think we need to... How off-grid is it? There we go. That should still work. Sometimes it has trouble if it's clipping into something already, but... Yeah, those parts are anchored, so it should be fine. Or even, oh, that's what I like, is when it breaks off into the big chunks and then when it hits the ground it gets tinier. So that works. So now that that's working, we just have to do that for every geometry collection we've placed in the level. To help make it easier, I've been renaming any geometry collection we get in this folder. I've been removing the SM for static mesh out of there because it's a geometry collection now. We don't gotta worry about that. And then that moves it to the top of this. But yeah, we might have to also go in. I think we kind of, for the most part, individually place these, like each one's unique. We might have to go in anyway and revisit that. This tower thing I don't think is in this level. I think we used that in our other one. See, actually, let me just go into the outliner and type GC. Okay, we have a lot less in here than I thought we did. So this should be quick. And we'll go to each one individually. Okay, yeah, and the correct ones will show up. So again, speedrun geometry collection version for if you already have them, but you need to get them working. Is we're just going to open up the collection itself. Just this one. We're going to crank the mass way up because it's stone, so it's supposed to be chunky and heavy. So paste that existing value in there since that works. We have a master field spawning in that we have a very high where is it? Oh, we have a very high magnitude in to meet the high mass. So we have that spawning in here after the detonate logic and the grenade stuff. Increase the mass of the geometry collection. And then in your actual fracture thing, we're going to turn on show bone colors. In your actual fracture thing here, you can see we've got the whole object and then we've got our sub objects, our smaller pieces of the puzzle here. For this one, I'm not going to do like a bottom part that stays intact. I think I'm going to do like the left side of the wall here. Actually, let's do one more uniform fracture on it and make it again like 4 and 4. So it's not like a bunch of crazy shapes. And yeah, don't mind the editor just bugging out a bit. That's normal. Yeah, but we're just gonna take some of the pieces on the edge here. And that'll be our anchor points. So we're gonna right click set anchored yes, static as the state. That way these will remain intact when the rest of the structure blows up. And when we want the rest of the structure to blow up, we want them to develop into tinier pieces than this. So we're going to invert. That will select everything else. And we're going to run a cluster fracture on that. And then we're going to run another one because I'm crazy and insane. So that gives us 5 levels, 0 through 4 in our hierarchy. And then we're going to go into our details panel here. Where is it? Where is it? I just saw it. It was right above this, right? Yeah. And then we're going to go collision profile per level and click that 5 times for our 5 levels. The first 2, so index 0 is the entire object. We're going to say block all because we want it to be used as cover. And then the larger chunks that are anchored in place or the larger chunks that fall off, we want to have collision as well. So block all on the next 2. And then index 3 and 4 are where we did the cluster fractures, so they're really, really tiny. So we're gonna put the destructible property on these, so that means when they actually blow up, they will lose collision on those really tiny pieces, so it doesn't interfere with gameplay. And yeah, we're gonna test that out. As you can see, it exploded there. See, even like blew up into that initial big chunk and then into these tinier pieces. So those are missing collision, but this cover piece right here still has it. And if we turn off the bone colors, we can see how that actually looks with the brick. Perfect. Clip it. Clip it. Clip it. I'm gonna put an emote in the chat. I'm gonna put an emote in the chat. Clip it, future Emily. I'll kill you. I'll take away your coffee. I won't do that to myself. I need coffee. What is she saying? My boyfriend just ran out and I had creamer on the grocery list, thinking I would just like get a small one or something to last until vacation. Got 2 big things of creamer. Now I can have unlimited coffee for like a day. I've been like trying to mass stock up over the summer on those like cookie dough K-cups that Donut Shop has. Because they are yummy. Okay, oh, also, I have a hiccup. Let me rename this to show that we have updated the mass. Probably just highlight that whole thing. I don't know what I was yapping about, but it sounded important. I'll probably highlight it. God, I want to play Fantasy Life now. God! Ah! You know what? Let me look it up. Fantasy Life. Switch to. Oh, it is already out. Yeah! $3? Hell yeah! Reduced load times, improved graphics and frame rate. Oh my god, we're gonna beat this in the crispest quality. I'm so excited! I think we're gonna get Taco Bell tomorrow also, so just an incredible weekend all around. Like, I'm so excited. Incredible week coming up, actually. Short work week, vacation. Seeing family for Father's Day this weekend as well. We're gonna play the new Mario Kart because I think my dad's really excited to play it. So I'm gonna bring my Switch 2, but my boyfriend's also gonna bring his Switch 1 because then my sister's living in another state right now, so but she still wants to celebrate Father's Day, so we're gonna play some Mario Kart 8 all on our Switch 1s as well. I mean, not me. I'll be playing in style. Everyone will say I'm cheating. I'm prepared for that. My family gets so competitive with Mario Kart. Like, I would say, I've been telling them, I'm like, the only game that's interesting to them on the Switch 2 right now is Mario Kart. I'm like, y'all might like Donkey Kong when it comes out. They're not gonna like Prime 4. You're not gonna like the JRPGs on there. There are a lot of cozy games, but some indie stuff is still taking a few months, like, to ramp up, so it would be better, like, for my mom to wait until the end of the year, so that there's a bigger selection of stuff for her to get addicted to. And then, yeah, they're not gonna play Hyrule Warriors. My sister might, but she also, like, I thought the general consensus I thought was that a lot of people, if you like the first Hyrule Warriors, you would like Age of Calamity. Now my sister, she's built different. She's like, where was my OC original character, non-canon character from the first Hyrule Warriors? And I'm like, she's not canon, she's not in this. And my sister's like, well, it sucks. Age of Calamity sucks. This is going on YouTube. I should not endanger her life by saying that. But she's like, well, it's not good. So I'm sure her reaction to Age of Imprisonment will be the exact same. And be like, well, is Lana in it? And I'll be like, no. And she'll be like, I don't care. Why are you telling me this? But I'm excited for it. But yeah, I don't think my family will be as interested. And then Tomodachi Life, that's gonna be when my sister needs. But that's coming to the Switch 1 actually too. I forgot that was during the Switch 1 Direct. That and Rhythm Heaven both will be multi-gen. So yeah, I would think my family's good on not needing to get a Switch 2 until like the holidays at the earliest. But they are Mario. I accidentally turned them into Mario Kart fiends. Like, they kind of, I don't know why, they made it like their purpose to defeat me in Mario Kart. The same thing happened to like one of my friends. Same thing happened to my love. I don't think I'm not a good Mario Kart player, as I've learned playing online. I'm like, damn, I'm not sweaty enough for this for this type of warfare. But when I play with other people, they insist. They're like, no, there's something wrong with you. You're not right. And they like become dedicated. They're like, I will practice and I will kill you. I just want to play as the Moo Moo Cow, which I have been. Rosalina and the... I thought I would like veer more towards like one or the other and have like a main for World, but I kind of just switch between all the outfits I have for Rosalina and the Moo Moo Meadows Cow like pretty frequently so far. It just depends on my mood. I think I want to play more Peach so I can get... I know she has a lot of outfits, so I might play her a bit. What am I doing? I've been scrolling here. That's why I made the video on how to do the Destructibles. Not 2 minutes later, all the knowledge has left my brain. Okay, bone colors is what I was looking for. We copied the mass. Bone colors, fracture. We back. Okay, this one's already fractured down to a level 2, so... I think I just want to have, like, what? This looks like a pretty good piece to have remaining. Something small, especially being in the middle, but still have cover. So I'm just going to anchor this singular piece here, and everything else double cluster fracture. What do we got? What are we dealing with here? Yeah, that is insane. Disgusting even. Perfect. Okay, then our collision should just be under physics, I think. Is it under advanced? Is that why I couldn't? Collision profile. Y'all know the drill. What time is it? Okay, I can finish this up in the next 15 minutes. That's kind of all I wanted to do today is... we did like the saga with making the arty flag last time, and that was just something nice and short that we could focus on for a one-off stream. So I wanted the collision stuff today with the Destructibles to be similar, where it's like, hey, I watched this tutorial, here's what I learned. We're gonna clean up a few other things with that same logic, which I kind of like. I want maybe our game dev evenings in the future to have more just like, hey, I don't have time to do a lot of stuff outside of work anymore, but what I do have time for is just like little quick recap sessions like this. But I do still want to do the full, like, making a new map. I still want to jump back into Oz Tycoon at the end of the year, but I think we might actually kick those off with, like, a weekend stream. I'm thinking when we start blocking out the next arena, we might start that on a weekend, and then I might, like, dive more into that whenever I have time off stream and just kind of do smaller update streams instead of stressing about, oh gosh, I've given myself too much personal work. That way it feels more fun, and more sandboxy. Oh. As you can see, when they don't fully break down, you can still have collision on them, but then do that again. Oh, that's nice, that's nice. Check it without the bone color on. Kinda tempted to have this anchored in place. I'm gonna be honest. But for now, no. That'll be kind of more complex to backtrack on now. For now, I'm not gonna do that. So that is good. We'll go ahead and rename this asset. One's there, that's one up there. Is it just okay? I guess this is the last destructible we put in for now. I thought we put a ton more in, but it's just like 5. So now that we have these in, this is really just no. This is the geometry collection too. Why is it not showing? Wait, what? Oh, because this is the one we replaced. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's why. It's like, I thought we placed more than that. So we need to fix the collision on more things than I thought is what you're telling me. I should have just searched. That's on me. We should have, instead of searching by name. Why is it not? Okay, and it won't let me filter by. Okay. Geometry collection. Actor. Okay, well this one we've supposedly already hit. Cause yeah, it's just like the other one. So it just comes down to the collision data, I think. That should be the only difference between these two. Unless the fracture data didn't carry through. Looks like something carried through for that. Is anything anchored? Yeah, the fracture data is all there. Interesting. Well, let's just copy what we... Actually, can I just copy this? Yeah, we can just, instead... I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same for all of them, so we can just paste the information. Excellent. Okay, the one thing is the brick texture on the inside, that you can mess with the materials of what it looks like inside, which I think we want to, because for some reason it's got it on the wrong, like, axis. That's fine. That's fixable. Not today fixable, but fixable eventually. Is there any more just SM stuff? I think that was just a weird outlier. So we're good. It was like, oh god, how much work do we actually have? I guess we have more destructibles in the other level, so that could be something we revisit on that map as well. Or since I already did this, I can go ahead and do that on my free time. This next time I feel like it. Let's go ahead, copy the mask, save that. Ooh, since this part is static, I want to have like these two be... Yeah, we don't need to break that down anymore actually. These two are perfect as is for being the anchor points. Invert, cluster, actually this one only went to level 3. Let's do physics. Let's if we paste, will it fill in most of them? No, because I deselected. Let's see how this looks. We might need to add another level of destructible collision. Not sure. Actually, you know what? If anything, we might need to add another level of block all. It's kind of too... I mean, it's good for nav, but I feel like it's too big of pieces. Let's see what happens if just the tiniest layer is. There were only 3, right? Or did I misread? Yeah, only 3 levels. Okay, let's see. Don't know what the ominous vertical sphere is. Okay, that kind of didn't change anything except on these pieces here. I guess we'll switch it back. Some of these pieces are just larger than I thought they'd be. Maybe we'll deal with that and the more specific things with that later. For now, that is the little cut out of the top is what sells it. So that is fine with me. And also we got this shape in the first place and stuff like this by fracturing and then deleting parts of it. So I think that is all of the... Or let me rename this so we know that this one's also been rehabilitated. I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to do tonight. So we'll go ahead and we'll poorly playtest this. And ramp down. But yeah, I just wanted to do a short game dev stream for tonight. No game dev stream next week, but afterwards we'll do a few more like these sandbox one-off-ish streams with some of the modeling tool. When I return. But also the reason I haven't... I need to fix... I thought I fixed that last night. Another reason for the just taking it easy and not starting another map until the end of July stuff is because if you are subscribed to the channel, you will get a little gift while I am away, though everyone will receive this gift eventually. I was going to, for those that watch the Elden Ring playthrough we're doing, I was going to upload a death compilation at the end after our June and July streams, which we'll be doing a bunch of Elden Ring streams, all like back to back, to make up for kind of, we've taken not a true break from it, we're still playing it monthly as promised, but we played at the very start of May and we're going to get back to it at the end of June. But to make up for it, we're going to play like a full weekend at the end of June, and then we're going to play on 4th of July as well. So that's 3 Elden Ring streams right there. So I was going to make a compilation including our past 3 Elden Ring streams, and then do one with those new 3 Elden Ring streams. Oh my god, get out of my way! Oh, look at those destructibles. However, yeah, I was starting to go ahead and edit ahead on like the death compilation and everything portion of it, and I actually had more fun like pulling out some of the fun moments and some of the victories a bit more. So it's not just all like me being frustrated and like each death lasting a solid few seconds. It's a little snappier and it's a little more the highs and lows of Elden Ring. There's definitely like, there's a part where I'm just really depressed in there near the end. But that alone is like 40 minutes long and I'm pretty much at the end of editing it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be out and we're going to probably, people are going to need a recap since it's been a break since we, last did our Elden Ring stuff. So I figured I will release that video to subscribers. I'm thinking either Wednesday or maybe even Tuesday. And then my first stream back, I will make that public, to anyone on Twitch, not just the subscribers, but to followers too. And then that will go up on YouTube a few days before the start of our, like, triple Elden Ring extravaganza for the summer. That way, if people are watching that video on YouTube, then they might be able to catch the June streams, or at least the 4th of July stream. And if not, those VODs will be already up for them to look at. Because I think people did like the, I did get called the, like, no offense, but you are the worst Elden Ring player I've ever seen. Which, people just don't have social skills, man. People need to go outside a bit more, but other than that, seemed like a fairly like optimistic and warm reception to the video. People had a lot of fun with that initial highlight reel, so I think the next one's even better. But yeah, I was just trying to work ahead on that video, and I was like, wait a minute, I can like finish and release this sooner rather than later. And then I might just make a video with like the compilation of stuff we do, and then maybe push that into like after the August streams, wherever those fall. But I also started to work ahead on the next video essay stuff about the 3DS eShop and E3 and how those both kind of, and it actually ended up being quite a bit about Nintendo Directs in general themselves, and how that all kind of led to like me becoming a Nintendo expert in the household, just the way all of those things shaped up in my childhood. We're gonna lose. What's my teammate doing? But I actually finished the entire script for that today. Impossible. I couldn't have lost. So it's also tracking to be around like 20 minutes currently. The same as the other video essays, so I've been very happy with. I haven't initially planned them to all be around the 20-minute mark for the video essays, but they just kind of ended up that's the amount of time to say what I want to say and make the points I want to make, so it's been good pacing wise for me. I would love to make those like super long documentary videos and only like release one video a year and have them do really well, but I'm not at, that's like the top dogs of YouTube I feel that are able to do that, and I don't think I'm at that caliber quite yet, as I'm enjoying the shorter form content, and I feel like I'm able to put out more right now doing that. So yeah, both of those videos are coming along really well. It should be a little treat for you guys. But yeah, thank you guys again. I think stream tonight was very quiet because I usually do these game dev streams either earlier or on Thursday nights, so I know it was a bit of a quieter night, and it was just me mainly wanting to yap about the destructible thing in my panicked state. But I'm glad we were able to do this. I'm glad I was able to get that all figured out and situated. That actually makes me feel a lot better about tweaking some stuff in Lyra in the future. Like, information's starting to come back to me, and it's a lot easier than I may have initially made it out to be. So I'm feeling better about being able to kind of morph this template into what we want it to be by the end of things with this sandbox. So more game dev stuff once I'm back from vacation. Otherwise, not done with streams yet. Beforehand, we're going to do a long Nintendo Switch 2 stream tomorrow. I will get and update my Fantasy Life version right now as we speak, and then I will go ahead and play some more Mario Kart tonight, but we will be playing that after we beat the main story to Fantasy Life I tomorrow. And then no stream on Sunday, I'll be out for Father's Day, but we will do a Monday morning Mario Kart stream, and we'll do a Tuesday morning instead of Wednesday morning stream before I'm on vacation with more Fantasy Life and more Mario Kart. So if you are a Switch 2 hype fan, the next few streams are for you. But yeah, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your night. Thank you for listening to my game dev rants, and I'll see you guys on the next one. You can hear me drinking water. Goodbye.